Well, folks, it looks like if the Vegas Golden Knights and Mitch Marner cannot come to terms on a sign and trade, the Toronto Maple Leafs may be prepared to accuse the Golden Knights of tampering. Now, what's up, guys? Welcome back. It's me. And yes, you heard that right. Things are really heating up in Vegas, and let's get into this breaking news story right now. It looks like there is already bad blood starting to form between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Vegas Golden Knights as they try to work out a sign and trade for Mitch Marner. We know that the Golden Knights have been talking to Marner's agent, but it doesn't sound like things are progressing well. In fact, one source even said it's kind of stalled right now. And I guess if the Leafs believe that the Golden Knights have tampered with one of their players, they could take action. And we know how serious the NHL is when it comes to tampering. Just ask the Carolina Hurricanes. They're still dealing with the aftermath of what happened with them, the Seth Jarvis situation and tampering. The Golden Knights and Marner may not end up coming to terms on a sign and trade, and if that's the case, the Golden Knights will have to give up their 2023 first-round pick. But let's pretend the Golden Knights do end up signing Marner, then what happens? According to the collective bargaining agreement, here's what the definition of tampering is. Without the consent of the other club, a club or its representative shall not directly or indirectly a. Induce or attempt to induce any player under contract to that other club to become a free agent before the expiration of his contract. B. Make any such offer to any such player, or C. Have any discussion with any such player regarding the terms of employment of such player for any period after the expiration of his then current contract. So, essentially, the Leafs can only accuse the Golden Knights of tampering. If the Golden Knights had some sort of conversation with Marner about playing for them in the future, if it was just Marner's agent that was talking to the Golden Knights about what it would take to get him signed, then I don't think the Leafs can do anything. I mean, every team is allowed to talk to every player that's a free agent. Like, that's literally what free agency is. The problem is, according to this article from The Athletic, is that it seems like Marner has been involved in these discussions. Let me read you this quote from the article. After 2 weeks of conversations between the teams, no deal has been reached and sources say negotiations are stalled. Part of the holdup, according to sources, is that Marner wants to play for Vegas. He's expressed that to people close to him, and also to teammates in recent weeks. He liked visiting the city last spring, and he sees the Golden Knights as a contender ready to win the Stanley Cup. Not only that, another quote from the article that says that Marner's camp has discussed with the Golden Knights what it would take to make this work. That's key wording right there, discussing what it would take to make this work. If that didn't happen, then technically the Golden Knights haven't done anything wrong, but it looks like it did happen. So it might be a bit of a gray area. The Golden Knights are saying that they've only been talking to Marner's agent, but I guess the Leafs think otherwise, and they're ready to call the Golden Knights out on it. Because according to the article, once the Golden Knights came back to the Leafs with an offer for Marner, the Leafs made it clear to Vegas that they felt the Golden Knights were tampering with their player. Now, if the Golden Knights did tamper with Marner, do the Leafs have a case here? Well, based off of this article, I would say yes. I mean, if Marner told people close to him and even his teammates that he wants to play for Vegas, that is considered tampering. According to the CBA, you cannot talk about a player's future employment, which means if Marner was discussing his future employment with the Golden Knights, then that is tampering. Now, what I find interesting about this whole thing is that Marner has kept quiet. Now, he did speak about this whole situation going on in Vegas, but he never mentioned the Golden Knights. He always made sure to only mention Vegas, never the Golden Knights. And basically, he said that he's happy in Toronto and that he wants to stay here long term. But apparently those are just lies because he's trying to force a trade to Vegas. So, yeah, he definitely played a part in this. And if the Golden Knights are found guilty of tampering, what could happen? Well, according to the CBA, here's what it says. Any club found to have tampered with the player may be fined, lose draft choices, be denied the right to sign the free agent player so found to have been tampered with, or all of the above. That is quite the list. That is quite the list. I mean, losing draft picks, being denied the right to sign Marner, being fined. Yeah, that's a pretty serious punishment if the Golden Knights are found guilty of tampering. Now, I don't want to speculate too much on what could happen. But I think it's fair to say that the Golden Knights probably wouldn't be able to sign Marner if the Leafs file a complaint and the NHL finds that they have tampered with him. And that's where things stand right now. The Golden Knights thought that they had a deal done with Marner, but I guess the Leafs weren't okay with the details and now they're calling the Golden Knights out for tampering. This is why sign-and trades are always difficult because usually there is some sort of backlash. Either the team that's trading for the player accuses the player of tampering, or the team that's losing the player thinks that the other team is tampering with their player. It's very messy, and it looks like it's happening right now in Vegas, but I want to hear from you guys. Do you think that the Golden Knights have tampered with Mitch Marner? Or do you think the Leafs are just trying to save face because they don't want to lose Marner? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I post videos daily, so there's always fresh content for you guys to watch. And let's get into the next story. There's a lot of talk around Alex Tanguay right now. Like, he's been very vocal about wanting to leave Toronto, but he's currently carrying an $11 million cap hit. Not only that, he has a full no-movement clause, meaning that he can block any trade to any team. So it's very unlikely that the Leafs are going to move his contract, unless he's willing to waive his no-movement clause and go to a team like the Golden Knights. But we know that's not happening. Tanguay wants to go to Vegas, but he wants to keep his no-movement clause. And that's why he tweeted out this. He said, "A lot of speculation about my future lately. I love Toronto and I'm happy here. My family is happy here. That's all that matters." I feel like he's trying to save face a little bit. Like, he knows that the fans aren't happy with him. They want him gone. And he's basically telling them, listen, I'm not looking to leave. I'm happy here. My family is happy here. It's basically him trying to calm the fans down because they're very frustrated with him. Not only that, I think he's doing this to put pressure on the Leafs to trade him. Like, he knows that he's not going to be popular in Toronto anymore. He knows that the fans don't want him back. And he's basically trying to convince them to move him. He knows that the Leafs have a ton of cap space. They need to move contracts. And he's basically saying, hey, listen, I'm not trying to leave. I'll go to Vegas, I'll waive my NMC, but you gotta make it happen. And it's really interesting because the Golden Knights are actually the ones that started this whole thing. You know, they reached out to Tanguay. They talked to his agent. And it wasn't until the Golden Knights started talking to Tanguay that he started tweeting out cryptic messages. It's almost like he knew that this was going to happen and he planned it all along. I mean, I don't know how else to explain it. The Golden Knights start talking to Tanguay and then Tanguay starts tweeting out messages. Am I crazy, or does anyone else see a connection here? Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and catch you guys in the next one.